Hey guys, you're watching Real Talk with Ike. This is a little segment I'm going to be doing from now on, just to talk about my personal experiences and thoughts about topics that I hope you find interesting. So today I'm going to talk about my experience going to Japan, and honestly, going to Japan was... I'm just going to turn the screen around on the camera so I don't have to look at myself. So going to Japan actually was one of the coolest experiences of my life, and I ended up going there, I think it was probably around 2 to 3 years ago, and it was very special to me, the trip, in the sense that it was almost like a final test, because I studied Japanese actually for the 2 years preceding the trip. So 2 years before I actually went to Japan, I was just learning Japanese. So the trip was kind of like the final moment. It's like, let's put it all to the test. Let's see if I die. Let's see if I die over there. If I don't, then obviously I succeed. If I make it back to the States, then that's it. My Japanese, is very good. And I went there, I stayed with a host family. It was a Japanese boy, Japanese dad, a Japanese mom. Yeah, fucking obviously. It was a mom, a dad, and their 2-year-old son, and also an oba-chan, which is Japanese grandma. And it was really nice when I was staying with them. And I really do recommend homestays, because homestays, you don't have to pay for hotels. You have people sometimes that does laundry for you, or that shows you around the cities and stuff like that. In my case, both of the parents were working, so they couldn't really show me around much. But the oba-chan, or the grandma, would always make me like ramen or sushi, and it was to die for. It was such a cool thing, and of course the little kid was super cute when he wasn't crying. Is that bad to say? I don't know. But it was a really cool experience just staying with the actual Japanese family, because their English wasn't really that good. So I was forced to speak Japanese for the whole weeks that I stayed with them. And I was in Japan for a total of 4 weeks, 3 of which I spent in Tokyo and 1 I spent in Kyoto. And it was just the craziest trip of my life. Like, it was the first time I was actually outside of a country without my parents. I think for me, the coolest thing that I took away from it was that it's so crucial to go outside of your comfort zone and to experience different cultures, because you don't know what's going to come out of it. And I'll get back to this point in a little bit. But going to Japan was super cool. When I was there, it was actually summertime. They call it in Japanese Natsuyasumi. And it was hot as fuck. It was like legitimately 90 degrees Fahrenheit, and also it was like 70% humidity or 60% humidity every single day, so it was bad. You walk out five minutes outside, you're sweating, but apart from that, it was almost surreal. When I was there, I visited like Buddhist temples and all these temples. I remember going to a place that was built in 800, not 1800, like 800. Like 1,000+ years ago, which was really insane just to even think about it. Seeing different shrines, but also seeing the modern aspect of Japan, because Japan is one of the most modern countries in the world. It's so technologically advanced that it's really cool to see the architecture, and also how clean everything is. When you go to Japan, everything is clean. The homeless people, there aren't any, but if there were, they'd be clean. Like, it was ridiculous. It was really cool. Everything was so kind of well organized. In Japan, everything, at least in Tokyo and also Kyoto, was just really nice. And Kyoto was cool because Tokyo, it's a big city. It's like kind of like New York. But Kyoto is more the countryside. And I'll show you some photos while I'm talking, because Kyoto was really, really peaceful. So yeah, going back to the beginning of my trip. When I first got there, I met my host family at a train station next to the airport. The crazy thing is, when I first met them, I was with them for like the first 5 minutes, and we went on a train, and then we went somewhere else to another station, and I actually lost them. I lost sight of them for like 30 seconds, which obviously you're probably thinking, oh, it's not a big deal, but for me, I was terrified because of this one thing. In Japan, everyone, for the most part, has the same skin color and the same hair color. So I lost them. Like, they could have been standing like right there, like 2 feet away from me, but with their heads turned, I could not tell who was who, and it was scary. And obviously I'm a mixed race dude, quite tall in the middle of all these Japanese people with a bit of more of an afro back then, so they were able to find me easily. This is a really cool thing that I discovered when I was in Japan. The people there are extremely polite, extremely polite. I had one guy that I was a pen pal with that we talk on Skype every now and then for 6 months before I went to Japan. When I was there, he traveled like 2 hours to come and meet me. He showed me all around Akihabara, which is like the gaming and electronic district of Japan. He showed me like all the stores and also bought me ramen, which is really cool. I kind of felt like a girl. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of felt like a girl for those few hours, because man, he was showing me around and shit, buying me some ramen. Damn, but it was a really cool experience, and the Japanese all around are very, very polite. I mean, if you are interested in going to Japan, it's just an amazing place. It's truly kind of majestic. Obviously, I'm looking at this from the position of someone who's only stayed there for a short time, but at the same time, it's a very cool place. And if you're in the big city, it's very busy, but it's full of life, and it's really cool, and everywhere just feels safe. I remember walking just random places, 2 a.m. I've never felt safer. Oddly enough, when you go to a different country, it's always going to be quite a culture shock. I was trying to prepare for it, but obviously when you go there, it's completely different. People, obviously, if you don't look the same, they're looking at you just like, what is... And then the second I speak Japanese, they're like, which means like, your Japanese is so skilled, you know? Even if it's like, konnichiwa. Oh, josu, skiru. Ohio. Skiru. It's true. It's true though. Like the second you open your mouth and they think you're gonna say something Japanese, they just say, "Oh, your Japanese is so good." And that's kind of going back to the politeness. They're really cool people. So if you're thinking about going to Japan, if you're not really sure, if you're figuring out your finances and whatnot, I get it, but my recommendation or my thoughts on the matter is Japan was an amazing experience for me, and it taught me a lot, and I was proud that I was able to hold my own in Japanese. And even if you don't speak Japanese, people there are extremely polite. I've seen numerous videos where people don't know where to go, and Japanese people literally take the time out of their day to not only tell them the instructions, but to walk them to whatever they need to go. It's a really cool country. I definitely recommend you to go there. And funnily enough, this is the thing, when you travel, you never know what's gonna happen. So I met, when I was there, I actually met a Russian girl. But it was cool because I don't want to brag or anything, but we were like, I was a bit young, but like, you know me, we were like holding hands and shit, man. Damn. But no, I mean, when we were there, strangely enough, I actually learned a Russian phrase, which is "Вы понимаете по-русски," which means "Do you understand Russian?" So you gotta imagine her face when a black American dude comes up to her in the middle of Japan and starts asking her, "Do you speak Russian?" in Russian. And yeah, after that point, you know, we started holding hands and shit. She was surprised. She was like, "Man, who is this guy?" But yeah, I mean, it was really cool. And the funny thing is, I would not be able to speak Russian now if I did not go to Japan. And if you don't know this about me, I love learning languages. But the thing is, when I went to Japan, this Russian girl taught me some bad Russian words. I was like really, really bad Russian words, and I was like, this language kind of sounds cool. So I actually started learning it, and yeah, lo and behold, after 8 months of studying Russian, well, I was able to speak it and have conversations with people. И теперь я говорю русский, без проблем. So, and that came from going to Japan. So I'm not saying if you go to Japan you'll learn Russian, but you'll never know what you'll get if you go to a country like that, because you know, it just really opens your widens your perspective of the world, and you get to see how people live their lives. When you actually go to the country, when the second the plane touches the ground, it's like there's just something inside your mind that really just starts to open and starts to be like, it's like a paradigm shift, if you know the terminology, where you're seeing people or you're seeing something as one way your entire life, and then something happens and all of a sudden you see it in a different way. And that's the coolest thing about traveling. So if you are interested in Japan, like I said, go there. It's 本当に素晴らしいところだよ。素晴らしい国。そしてね、行けよ。じゃあ皆さん、thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and subscribe. If you haven't pressed the button, please subscribe. And if you did like this video, give it a like. I want to know that you guys are watching. And if you do have any specific questions about Japan, because this is a bit more general, please let me know and maybe I can make another video about it. This has been the Real Talk with Ike session. Hope you guys liked it, and yeah, catch you later.